Hey guys, I'm Jax and this is my spoiler review for the new Netflix film, Leave the World Behind. So there's a lot to unpack with this film, but I mostly want to talk about the end of this film because wow, what a bold, thought-provoking and powerful end to a movie. And whilst there are some very profound and potentially pretentious filmmaking symbolism, metaphors and all that good stuff, the thing that I really wanted to discuss that really kind of upset and confused and made me feel off was the fact that this film ends with a little girl walking into a bunker and she has been trying to watch the series finale, of Friends, but she can't because when the apocalypse kicks in, the internet goes down and streamers like, say, I don't know, Netflix, are unreliable. And maybe they're just going to have a great show like Final Space, but in a couple of days, it'll be gone forever and it just won't exist because streamers are this thing that aren't tangible. They're not tactile. You can't hold them in your beautiful hands and feel the DVD cover. So she goes into a bunker and sees a DVD and she puts on Friends and the theme song plays and the movie ends. And I suddenly had this profound and powerful realization that I don't have enough DVDs. I have like a lot. I have quite a lot, but I don't have enough if an apocalypse level situation happens. And I can't believe that I came to the realization that I need to cancel Netflix and buy more DVDs from a movie on Netflix. Netflix, ironically, I suppose, produced a film in which they will not release DVDs of said film that is pro-physical media and anti-streaming. Netflix, the original streamer, is like, streamers are unreliable and suck, and maybe you should buy more DVDs. It's like, okay, Netflix, I guess I'm cancelling my Netflix subscription and getting back into physical media. Wait, sorry. I just remembered that Friends is on Netflix, so never mind. There's not that many apocalypse movies where I can fully relate to any character, yet alone two characters in this movie. The little girl in this film who just wants to watch her show is literally my spirit animal. I suppose my human spirit animal? I relate and understand her wants and needs. I also completely relate on a spirit animal, human animal level to Ethan Hawke, who at one point in the film towards the end is like, Kevin Bacon, you're like an actually prepared man in this situation. If I don't have my phone or GPS, I am useless. And I'm like, yeah, same. The end of this film I found to be so loaded with so many thought-provoking ideas and commentary on society. It's not the first time we've seen in media where it's like children are on their screens too much. They're glued to their screens. They're obsessed with their screens. But I feel like this film, in its commentary on these things, and also just how it presents this apocalypse situation, is a real testament to it's not what story you're telling, but how you tell the story. This film is so slick and stylish and clever. The cinematography is fantastic. There are so many very clever and subtle and very unsubtle, just bashing you over the head with its bluntness in its commentary, but the way this film presents itself, the score, the cinematography, the acting, it all elevates this really good story to something that I found to be absolutely spectacular. Even just the first scene with all of the family in the car, and we get a one where all of them are listening to technology in their own little way as they're all sitting in a car going on a vacation together, but all completely separate in their own little worlds entirely. It's just so fantastically done. I found it to be so compelling and interesting, and it is just doing things we have seen many times before. It's like a Black Mirror episode. It's like, what if you're on your phone too much and then the world ended and then your phone couldn't play your show? What would you do? Go into a bunker and find DVDs. Physical media for the win. As Ethan Hawke's character literally says in the movie, as he's talking about one of his students' books or whatever, and he's like, media is an escape, but also a reflection. And I found this film to be such an interesting kind of commentary, or I suppose meta commentary, on that idea, where this film is a piece of apocalyptic escapism, a film that's stylish and slick and looks beautiful. There's some amazing sequences and moments that can be seen as escapism, but it is also so reflective of people and of the culture right now of kids glued to their screens. And it does so many things, and it is both of them, whilst also having a character in the movie who is like wanting to escape her reality by watching a show that is a reflection of our society. I just love the idea that this little girl is just like, I just gotta see what happens to those friends. They're my friends. I care about them. And her brother's like, you shouldn't maybe? And she's like, I just really care about them, because she loves this reflection on humanity in this show. But then like when the actual world and actual New York where the show is set is literally exploding, she's not even there to watch or care. She's in a bunker watching the final episode of Friends. It's so complicated, potentially pretentious, and just I found it deeply profound and interesting and thought-provoking and all of these big, juicy, meaty kind of things. And I just found it so bold, like just such a great way to end a movie. I like the client stuff. I thought that was all really, really cool and scary and vague. I loved how vague everything was. Like even at the end when Mahershala Ali was like, it's this, I've realized what it is. And it goes through the movie and you're kind of like, oh, so this is exactly what's happening. He's still just like hypothesizing. He's still just like, I'm pretty sure. Like he's got a better idea because of the client warning him and all those scenes. Super spooky and creepy. Just loved all of that. Very, very, very cool. But I just loved how vague this apocalypse was, where it's like, yeah, you could go, oh, it's definitely that. But you could also be like, yeah, it might be that, but it also could be this. And like even just the cinematography with so many cool, stylish and sleek, beautiful movements and stuff. There was often so many times where it would come up to be like a bird's eye view of the characters, and they look like little ants walking about. And I guess you could see it in a lot of different ways, but my stupid brain kept being like, we kept kind of looking down on them, and there were so many shots of like the actual Earth where I'm like, is this aliens? Is this gonna get crazy and be aliens? Maybe. I mean, it's never explained properly. Maybe it was aliens. It almost definitely wasn't aliens, but maybe it was. And I just love that vague ambiguity to this apocalypse. Really interesting. Kind of puts you in the mindset of these people who have lost their phones and they're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do without this phone? Also, the son like lost his teeth. Horrifying. Like actually couldn't look at the screen. He just like kept tearing them out. Like stop pulling on them. They're clearly very loose. Stop it, boy character. Just horrifying. Hated it.